circled on our brackets on Selection Sunday is finally here. We thought we might get a chance to see the bluest of bloods facing off against each other in the quarterfinals. That day is today. Virginia and Maryland just minutes away from tangling once again. Take a look at the bracket. Earlier today, Cornell punched their ticket with the win over Delaware. They'll play Rutgers in the first semifinal on Saturday. We're not sure which one will be first and which one will be second, but one spot remains. Princeton awaits the winner of Maryland and Virginia this afternoon. Hi, everybody. Alongside Ryan Boyle, I'm Chris Cotter, and certainly on Selection Sunday, we thought, hey, let's look at this one right here, because we might get Virginia and Maryland in a quarterfinal matchup today, and we got it.
Yeah, potential championship matchup just 1 week earlier. This is the game that everybody's been circling, and frankly, talking to both coaching staffs, they knew that they would have to go through this opponent to get to championship weekend.
And really, when you think about these two teams, very familiar with each other in NCAA tournament play. Let's go back to 2019. They met in the quarterfinals.
This is the highlight replay that no Maryland Terrapin fan wants us to be showing. The Michael Krause shot that rings off the post gets called a goal. Virginia goes on to win that game en route to the national championship. Fast forward to 2021. Final seconds, the pinch and pop. Wierman all by himself, but Alex Rowe the huge save to save their season and to win the national championship.
Take another look at Wierman. He's got the face-off to himself coming out of a timeout. Got a look. Just wasn't able to bury it. Virginia, the Cavaliers celebrate their second straight national championship. I'm sure Terp fans would rather us show the highlights from the game earlier this year, where Maryland handled Virginia in D.C., and really Maryland's been handling everybody this year on their schedule, and a big reason for that is offensively, they've been unstoppable. Look at where they rank in the NCAA in so many offensive categories. One's all over the screen there, and a big reason for that is the guy who wears number 1 for the Terps, Logan Wisnauskas.
Historic season for the Terps on offense and historic career for Logan Wisnauskas, the all-time leading point scorer in that program history, number 2 in goals, number 3 in assists, so he does a little bit of everything. Obviously known for his range from the outside. He can absolutely bring it, but he's able to create his own shot, and where he's really developed is as a passer. I mentioned he's 3rd all-time in assists. He is the facilitator. He makes everything work. They've got so many threats offensively, Cotter, but this is the guy wearing number 1.
He's wearing number 1 for the Terps. The Hoos have somebody who wears number 1 as well, and he's pretty darn good, too.
Pretty darn good. Last year's championship weekend most outstanding player, and he kept things rolling again last week against Brown. He is half of their two-headed quarterback offense. Him and Matt Moore, so difficult to defend. Schellenberger can create his own shot. He can create for others, and if you're going to play off of him, he can also rip it from the outside.
Maryland has some All-Americans on the defensive end as well, most notably defenders Alex Zappitello and Brett Makar. And Makar is a first-team All-American. For more on that, Katie George is the 3rd member of our crew. She's down on the field.
He's one of the best defensemen in the country, but he's also really good at making analogies. I asked Brett, what's it like playing against Virginia? He said, imagine trying to catch a lightning bug in a jar. They're so fast. They're so difficult to contain. He said last year in the national championship, he and his teammates had a hard time catching their breath because of the pace at which UVA plays. So then I said, well, what's it like playing Maryland? And he said, oh, well, we're like a prize fighter. We'll knock you out in the first round if you allow us to. But if you want to go toe-to-toe, we'll go the distance as well. Last 15 rounds, we've got all the counters in the world. So how do you want to play? Who wins out, guys? The lightning bug or the prize fighter? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody's been on the, opposite, the business end, if you will, on that exchange throughout the course of the year. And we are underway in this game. Wierman and LaSalle, that's going to be a huge battle to face off all afternoon long. And Virginia won possession, but the player who picked up the loose ball got rocked.
And that was Wisnauskas on the hit.
Wow, already 10 seconds into the game, and the physical nature of what we might see in this contest is already on the screen.
You can already feel the juice from this game. This is the crown jewel of the quarterfinal weekend.
Oh.
Left side of your screen, you'll see Wisnauskas on the big hit on Bauer.
Bauer's 6'3", 200 pounds, too. And he was sent flying. So Virginia now with possession. Schellenberger. Off to Xander Dixon. Dixon could be a key in this game. Who will match up with him right now is Jake Higgins, short stick midi. Dixon used to be an attackman. Now he runs out of the box. Up top to Moore. Now Moore will attack from X. Wants to roll back. Shoots. No problem for McEnany.
Maryland's got numbers in transition here if they push. I'm a little surprised that they didn't push in transition. All of their short stick defensive midfielders and rope unit are legit threats.
Right.
Between that group, they got about 30 goals. So you're looking at maybe 2 per game out of the defensive half, which is just bonkers consider what they have on offense.
Yeah, Puglise comes in with 9 goals. Geppert 5 goals from that long stick midi spot. Malever. Here's Donville. Gets his right free and shoots it over. Got the shot, was deflected by Jeff Connor. He's an outstanding two-way player for this Virginia team. He's going to log a lot of minutes today. Kyle Long. Over to Donville. Far side to DeMaio. Ball kicked free. Back to Malever from X. Still 20 seconds to shoot for Maryland. Here's Keegan Kahn. When it all breaks down, watch for Kahn to go one-on-one, and he does, but Nunes is there to make the stop. How about Nunes, freshman goaltender, freshman of the year in the ACC?
Yeah, big-time moment for a freshman to be in cage. You know, they had Birkinshaw on this roster. He transferred to Penn, so that certainly wasn't the plan.
Yeah, Gavin was here too, and he transferred to Syracuse.
But interesting on that last possession, Virginia electing to put the long pole on DeMaio. That first midfield group, it's always kind of a curious decision where you're going to put that. They put it on DeMaio to eliminate that big little that he has between him and Wisnauskas on the left side.
You saw Jack Simmons, number 12, the second midfield unit for Virginia, along with Patrick McIntosh. We'll see Peter Garneau, number 33, running with that unit as well. Connor, up top, step down, shoot. Moore misses the cage.
And you can see that help came from the adjacent, the guy up top, the defender up top, as opposed to inside. So they're really mindful of Cormier on the interior.
Talking about Dixon with a little shovel shot. Doesn't get it to go, but Schellenberger backs up. Zappitello now on Schellenberger. Third team All-American. Over to Moore. Here's Griffin Schutz. He scores!
Nothing complicated about the Virginia offense. They line it up and they say, our guy's better than yours. And case in point, Schutz carries behind the cage. Almost lost the ball, but then just puts on the afterburners and gets far enough upfield to wrap this shot around McEnany. I think for Virginia to win this game, you know, they're going to have to outscore Maryland. Obvious statement, or you got to score more goals, but it's not going to be a defensive stalemate, right? Maryland's going to get theirs.
Maryland got that possession off the face-off, but gave it right back to Petey LaSala.
So can Virginia get to 16, 17, 18? That's the range that they need to be in realistically.
A big part of this is possessions, too, and we've seen them own at least these first couple of possessions, that middle of the field on face-offs to get the ball back and to get them into their 6-on-6.
And in their first game, they went 14 for 39 at the face-off dot. So the ball leaned heavily Maryland's way.
More on Makar. Keep an eye on this matchup all day long. Number 5 on 43. Now Higgins comes out to help out, and the ball gets away. No push. Maryland wanted to push. They can't believe it. They won't get the call. Goes back to Virginia.
It certainly looked like a push.
Schellenberger. He'll come upfield, gets a step on his opponent, but the help was there. shot. McNaney with the save. That was McIntosh. Now loose ball. And it'll go to Maryland.
Good job by the officials. It certainly looked like it hit off Quinn's stick on that loose ball. Kind of a bang-bang play.
And now something interesting here. Virginia has made their bones with the 10-man ride, haven't they? But it didn't work very well in the first meeting in D.C. in the regular season between these two. So how much will Lars Tiffany incorporate it? Great long pass and catch. Higgins on the receiving end did a fantastic job tracking down that pass and keeping possession for the Terps.
I rewatched that Brown game. There's a lot of transition opportunities for Brown, despite Virginia not doing their 10-man.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you might as well 10-man.
It's become such a part of their DNA. Lars said it just didn't even feel right. Wisnauskas now back to his left. He shoots. Nothing there. Ground ball snatched up by Cole Kastner. Here comes Sawsted. You won't find a more athletic group of close defenders than Virginia has with Sawsted, who's a great high school football player in the Dallas area. Kastner was a great high school basketball player coming out of Palo Alto, California. Great athletes, long and rangy.
If you're a Virginia fan, you've got to love the first half of this quarter. The ball has just seemingly been on the Cavaliers side the entire time.
Moore. Shoots. McNaney is there to stop that one. 3 saves already for McNaney. Here come the Terps.
And that's the key on the clears. Can you get up and out before Virginia is even able to apply any sort of pressure?
Right. And now they'll keep Alex Smith, number 39, D-Mitty, on the field for Maryland.
He's got Dixon trapped. Expect him to get involved in a pick game and then substitute the midfield line.
Terps take advantage. And it's DeMaio. The last player left on this Maryland team from the 2017 National Championship season. And he knocks this game at 1 apiece.
So the guy you want to put a long pole on is matched up against an offensive midfielder trapped on defense. Not ideal for the Who's. And DeMaio makes him pay.
Ryan, let's flash back to March 19th. These two teams met at Audi Field in Washington, D.C., and it was all Terps.
It was all Terps. Keegan had a fantastic day. Wierman was 24 of 35 at the faceoff dot. Let me push back a little bit on that all Terps. This was a 4-goal game with about 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and then the Terps just went on a run, and next thing you know, it's not a game anymore.
You're right. When you're talking about Maryland in 2022, a 4-goal game is really, really close. There's John Tillman. His record in not only just at Maryland, but when you think about 8 Final Fours and 6 championship games for Maryland, and just the 1 national title, though, 2017. LaSalla. One thing I've seen from Petey LaSalla over the years is when he faces against somebody who got the better of him earlier, he must have a bulletin board in his apartment or wherever he lives where he's putting this stuff up, because he tends to come back with a vengeance the next time he faces somebody.
Yeah, you knew you were going to get an answer from him today, and he showed just that.
He's starting off strong today after Wierman won 24 of the 35 faceoffs in that first game back in March. Time to step down for Moore. Rahill was on him. He opted not to take the shot. Moore goes around the entire perimeter. Still has the ball in his cross. Out of the Slim Reaper, Xander Dixon. Got that from Anish. Thanks, partner. Love it. Dixon now underneath. Shovel pass to Cormier. Now, Cormier is a guy who can handle that in traffic, but not that time. Defense too strong. We go the other way quickly. Higgins got rid of it. Geppert. Check that. That was Zappitello on the offensive side. Every one of these poles for Maryland is not afraid to cross the field.
They're all legit threats in transition. And on the opposite end, you could see the respect given Cormier inside.
DeMaio, just a handful. Found Wisnauskas. Couldn't find the cage, though. Stays with Maryland. Just a relentless attack from so many different angles.
And what's so unique is they don't really run a traditional set, per se.
Quick ball movement. Wisnauskas. Man, I thought he might take that shot, too. Instead, he passes it off. And DeMaio, that's 2 for him. Maryland takes the lead.
DeMaio's second, and it comes as Virginia quickly rotates into a zone. So they go zone defense. The issue with that is Maryland's got the shooters to break it down. So as the ball swings around the perimeter, you're going to get Wisnauskas, frees it right here on a short stick, so you can see a little bit of help come from the adjacent, and then it's just an easy pitch and catch over DeMaio, who's outside of your screen on the right side. So that little help late on the rotation, and DeMaio makes him pay.
I think maybe whenever it goes out of bounds.
28 goals on the year for DeMaio. Young man out of San Diego, California. And with this program now going all the way back to 2017. Ground ball. Every ground ball is going to be a battle. Loose ball hold. Maryland's ball. Will they look to attack quickly? Geppert will shoot. Man. Got the ball for 5 seconds. He got a long pole taking a shot from 12 yards.
And great anticipation there by Matsui on that run out. But if you're wondering why more teams haven't thrown zone at Maryland so far this season, that the previous possession was kind of indicative of why not. But I don't hate it, just in terms of like trying to throw a wrinkle to slow them down, make them think a little bit. You know, wouldn't be surprised if Virginia has a few other things, I don't want to call them gimmicks,
right,
but just a few kind of tricks up their sleeve to try to get this Terp offense thinking.
Evan Zinn, number 0, Agent 0. He's the fastest man on the field for Virginia anyways. In a 4.540 laser timed. Schellenberger loses it initially. Zappitello is all over him. A long way from the goal. Now Moore with Makar. Moore the jump shot. Race to the sideline, stays with Virginia. Hell of an effort that time by Bubba Fairman, two-way player for the Terps. But the race was won by the Cavs. Now McIntosh on Fairman. Back to Schellenberger. This shows you what Jesse Bernhardt, the defensive coordinator, and John Tillman think about Zappitello, having him on Schellenberger.
And Virginia loves kind of a 2-2-2 action with a big little behind the cage. So one short stick, one long pole. Maryland's effectively playing that two-man game, and then they're not sliding from the inside. So they're showing off of the adjacent to eliminate that scissor cut inside that Virginia loves.
Tough angle shot, not a whole lot of room to shoot. Nothing to shoot at for Schellenberger. It stays with Virginia, just 20 seconds to shoot. Moore changes speeds. Makar denying him. Nowhere for Moore to go. Look at the quick feet from Makar. Stays on him. Now finds a cutter. Couldn't make it work, though. Too difficult of a pass. Picked off by McNaney.
And you can see the trust that Maryland has defensively in those matchups, specifically on Schellenberger and Moore.
Maryland finishing out their substitutions. DeMaio, full head of steam. Kyle Long. Defender leaves him. Donville comes on board. Donville's got a full head of steam. No one's going to check him. He'll shoot and score!
An advantage gained from Maryland out of the substitution box. You're going to see as Long kind of holds the ball, the last substitution, and then the late runoff. So as you run this, freeze it right here. Donville's going to catch it with just a huge head of steam and just a ton of daylight right in front of him. No one stops ball in transition. Beautiful placement by Donville.
I didn't even notice.
Cornell transfer watched his former team punch their ticket to championship weekend earlier in the day. Donville now wants to follow suit with his new club, the Maryland Terrapins. The lead is 3-1. That time Cormier left the ball behind. Rahill, again, another close defender, running the field to Malever.
I thought Cormier had a trailer. I think it was Connor right in the middle of the field.
Here's Kyle Long. Connor shut the door just at the last minute. Donville, again. Peel trails. Oh, it fell down, and Donville got rid of it. Fortunate for Virginia. DeMaio. Long. Thought about making a move on Connor. Thought better of it. Now he's back with Connor. Rolls back to his right. Got a little free. Man, he is just on fire. Dialed in from that spot. DeMaio has the hat trick here in the first quarter, and he hasn't missed from that spot.
He's dialed in for sure. And not a lot of space on this. You're going to see a little two-man action between Donville and Long. And as Long carries across, Bauer's kind of there, right? I mean, it's not like he's strayed too far from DeMaio. But even that distance is enough for him to get his hands free and pinpoint placement.
LaSalle giving chase. Can't pick it up. Now he does. Gets it into the stick of Grayson Soliday. LaSalle stays on, as we'll see off from 23 for Virginia.
They've got Wierman trapped.
Virginia also has a pole on the field, and they're going to look to get him off. No, now they're going to keep him on. Ware. That was the plan. They kind of faked like Ware was going to come off, and then they kept him on.
Yeah, both teams generating quality looks through their substitution game. Just thus far, Maryland has done a better job of capitalizing on them than Virginia.
Once again, Schellenberger on Zappitello. Up top to Griffin, Schutz. Now Jeff Connor. Connor uses a pick to get free initially. Now back behind the cage to Schellenberger. All he needs is a step, and he got one. Switched to his right. Shot over the top of McNaney. Stays with Virginia and Connor. He must have the endurance of a marathon runner. Number 4 almost never leaves the field. Easy save for McNaney, though. That's 5 on the day.
But you can see exactly what Maryland's doing defensively. trusting those individual matchups. You get a little help from the top down, but we are going to stay locked in the crease.
Loose ball in front. High up over the goal and didn't quite make it into the goal mouth. But that horn sounds the end of the first quarter. Virginia got on the board first. Took a 1-0 lead. 4 straight, though, for Maryland to take this 4-1 lead after one. And it's the veteran, Anthony DeMaio. 1, 2, and 3 goals. The hat trick for number 16. Terps up 4-1 after one. Katie George is on the field. Katie?
Well, Lars Tiffany kind of laughed and said, guys, you're making them look really good. He said it's tricky because DeMaio has scored both in zone and man-to-man, asking his players what they preferred to do. But Scott Bauer put his hand up, said, guys, look, that last one was on me. They agreed they need to press out because DeMaio is getting too many good looks in open space right now.
That's a good point. And the substitution game has really helped Maryland as DeMaio and Donville have gotten great looks. Here's Wierman off the face-off. Thought about trying to generate some offense for himself. Instead, wisely gets it to all these All-Americans and all these PLL draft choices that just litter the field for the Terrapins.
Virginia cleaning their substitution game here on this possession. Thought they created some offense for Maryland in that first quarter. Just some ill-advised decisions running off the field. You just got to stay and buckle down. Virginia back to the zone.
Wisnauskas up top. Wisnauskas got it back. Now DeMaio has been just deadly from that wing spot all day long so far in that first quarter. Had a hat trick. 4 hat tricks in a row, by the way, for DeMaio. A lot of space. Nunes with the stop. That's a big stop for Nunes. Sauced in a little bit of trouble here in the corner. Got away from it. Now to Cotter.
Yep, huge stop there by Nunes. Need more ball pressure on Murphy. He can sling it. I mean, he can really bring the heat.
So, to your point with that zone, do you need them to extend it? That allows for cutters in the middle of it, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of knowing your personnel.
Mm-hmm.
In that instance, Murphy is not the guy to kind of lay off of.
Here's Cotter. They laid off of him. He shoots and scores! Communication breakdown that time defensively for Maryland, and Virginia takes advantage.
They've done a ton of two-man game from behind. This time they go up top. Freeze it right here. You're going to see this is the screen. Connors is going to come off of this and lose his defender, kind of gets caught up in the wash. So Smith tries to go underneath. There's a little bit of help by Rahill, but he doesn't stay on the double team. That breakdown in communication, if Rahill's going to show here, you might as well show and just stay. You could see Smith thought he was going to stay. Rahill thought he was going to get through. Credit Connors for opening up his hips, getting his stick to the inside to increase his shooting angle.
Connors 12th of the year. Violation on the face-off as Petey jumped too quickly. Wierman and company will take over possession. Wierman waits. Brennan comes on. Some run for Daniel Maltz, number 37, usually a man-up specialist for Maryland. Running out of the box. Brennan over to Malever. Young man out of Atlanta, Georgia. Brennan again behind. That ball was tipped. Stay with Maryland. Malever comes upfield. Up top to Brennan. Little space here and a goal. It's Maltz.
What's so difficult about Maryland when you prepare for them is twofold. Number one is personnel, and then number two is scheme, because they don't have one. When I watch them on tape, it's more of guidelines and patterns. So trying to prepare for them is so challenging because you don't know what they're going to run because they don't know what they're going to run. Everything is organic. There you saw kind of the pass down right into a pick down. Maltz catches that. Instead of swinging it, he comes right back up the same side of the field.
And you saw the offensive coordinator, Bobby Benson, there flash in front of the screen as he was having a word with Maltz. This is his baby. This is his genius, this Maryland offense. He's like Frankenstein building this thing and having it morph into the amoeba offense that it is.
Lines for multiple years.
Oh, painting a corner is Donville. Applause from both Tillman and Benson as this Maryland offense, as it has all season long, now humming.
And just to finish the point, what Bobby Benson brought in is a few wrinkles here, a few wrinkles there. Again, off the substitution, you're going to see Puglise kind of fake like he's going, comes right back. Little give and go between him and Donville. You got to respect Puglise in transition, and they're just slow to get it back up to Donville. And Coach Benson loves it.
2 goals in 24 seconds. It's 6-2. And now Wierman and LaSalle will battle once again from the dot.
A great cat and mouse there by Puglise on that last possession, showing why he was such a high draft pick to the PLL.
Now Higgins, his running mate from that rope unit, 57. Brings the ball into the offensive end. DeMaio.
And Virginia's gone zone against this first midfield unit and man-to-man against the second. It looks like they're sticking with that pattern.
DeMaio skip pass all the way across Donville. Now behind the cage to Kahn. Tries to get his defender on skates. Donville. DeMaio inside. Wisnauskas couldn't handle it. We'll get a timeout here. DeMaio had possession, and they're granting timeout to Tillman and the Terps.
And I thought Wisnauskas got away with a loose ball push there. They forced it in the crease.
Maryland is taking control. Timeout for the Terps. Up 6-2 here, early second. PLL begins play in their 2022 season 2 weeks from yesterday in Albany, New York, and pretty exciting day on draft day for Maryland Terrapins.
And how about 3 members of their rope unit, 3 short stick D-middies? I guess Bubba Fairman being a two-way guy, but for all 3 of them to get drafted just demonstrates their depth and strength at that position.
High for DeMaio, who was not on that list, although he's signed a deal with the PLL along with Ray Hill. So just add a couple other players on that list of guys that will be looking to extend their careers in the professional ranks. DeMaio here shoots, misses. Kahn backed up, retains possession. They just do not stop. Shot on the outside of the cage, but again, Kahn is there.
Maryland was looking for a reset there. You can see the officials get together.
Because there's just 1 second on the shot clock. That was a possession shot to try and
kind of low angle. He was looked like he was trying to hit it off Nunes on purpose.
We do have official review in the quarterfinals if we need it. Didn't get it there, and Maryland didn't get their wish with just 1 second. They dump it into the corner and set up their ride. 𝐀𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 will put it into play for the Cavs. far side to 𝐕�ou𝐿𝐴, one of the captains of this team. Over to Griffin Schutz. Scored one of the 2 Virginia goals in that first quarter. Now Connor will look to go to work on Higgins. Up top to Schutz. Trabilski, transfer from Villanova, number 56. Long stick midi on him. So now Schellenberger is up top. And Matt Moore is below the cage at X. Cormier, Connor scored there earlier and scores again from that very same spot. This time, instead of going low to low, he went high and beat McNaney.
And credit Cormier here. He's got a short stick on him, Puglise. So trying to get him out of his comfort zone a little bit, making him a dodger. And he's up to the task. So he'll get to the middle of the field and just kind of press down. You can see that little hedge there by Rahill. So when Rahill comes to help, no second slide behind it, and Connor buries it.
Connor's a two-way guy. We've made mention of that already. He has now 13 goals on the year after getting 2 in this game. Is Maryland content with letting him be the guy who beats him out there?
I think from that angle, yes. I mean, I think the short answer is like, where was the second slide? Like, we don't want to actually give up that shot.
Here comes Geppert. Not afraid to pull the trigger himself. Instead, gives it off to Wisnauskas.
But I think in most instances, you've got to trust your goalkeeper to make that stop.
Wierman's bouncing back, by the way, at the faceoff X. He's won 5 in a row. Second midfield unit on, Brennan. Daniel Maltz, who scored earlier for Maryland. Brennan, he shoots. Man, got a really good look. Just wide. Here's Jack Brennan, junior from Rochester. Now Kahn, looking to go to work on 𝐕𝐷𝐻𝐷. Inside, Malever scores. That's too easy.
This is just a great backdoor cut by Malever. Heads up play here as the ball kind of swings around. You're going to see this dodge down the alley by Brennan. It frees it right here. You're going to see the Virginia defender. He's kind of caught up on the backside of the cage, and Malever's just going to sweep around, and that allows this cross crease pass. So Bauer, just a tough approach angle there. It's kind of caught like, am I supposed to help? Am I supposed to cover my guy? And before you know it, Malever's gone.
25 on the year for Malever. Petey wins this one cleanly to himself. Now let's see how the Cavaliers decide to sub out. They'll bring Petey off. Here comes Schutz. And Xander Dixon. Schellenberger and Moore combined 0 for 6 shooting. 0 goals for both of them. Cormier got nailed and lost his footing, lost the ball. Turnover again on Virginia. That's 5.
And you can see Maryland making Cormier the dodger, the initiator, by putting a short stick on him, but taking him out of his comfort zone.
No 10-man ride for Virginia, but they almost forced a turnover. Kahn instead comes up with it. He got clobbered. No call. Here comes Virginia. Schellenberger spins and spins out of it. Thought about that cross pass over to 𝐕𝐷𝐷, but
I'm surprised he didn't take that shot. It looked like he had his hands free in the middle of the field. Normally, Virginia, you just see them kind of fire away there.
You'd rather have him take that shot than the skip pass to Grayson 𝐕𝐷𝐷 on the far side.
Virginia jumping into some pressure there, trying to speed up this game. Where can they gain extra possessions?
Here's Schutz down the alley, now back behind the cage to Moore. Early in the game, you had Schellenberger directing the offense from X. Now they've put Moore back there. Here's Schellenberger. Zappitello's been on him all game long. Connor on Fairman. He has 2 already today. Now the slide comes. Connor gets to the middle of the field. Good catch by Moore. In traffic. Bounce shot. Nowhere close. There's Lars Tiffany, the head coach of Virginia, 2-time defending national champs. In a battle here against Maryland. Now Schutz will look to dodge. Comes upfield against Geppert. Moore has a good look. Doesn't even get through the defender. Shot clock winds down as that Makar took that one. That shot took one for the team. Now he has the ball in his cross. Geppert. He'll shoot. Bounces it high.
And those early shots in transition, even if you miss the cage, now that allows you to substitute behind the play. The shot clock is stopped. So you're able to maximize this possession. It's those little details that the Terps do well.
Now here's Donville coming out of the box.
Virginia back in their zone against this first midfield unit.
Long. Back up top to Donville. DeMaio already has a hat trick in this game. Looking to bookend national championships on his college career in College Park. Wisnauskas.
Good cut there by DeMaio.
Oh, inside. Look at that. Oh, what a beautiful cut. What a beautiful pass. And then finished off by Long. In heavy traffic. If you're Lars Tiffany, what can you do at this point?
You know, I accidentally said DeMaio. It was actually Donville on this cut. You'll see Donville cut right down the pipe. I thought they might throw it there, but you freeze it right here. Here's Long all the way on this side of the field. He's going to take advantage of this open area right in the middle of the crease. So he's going to cut right through there and just overload the crease. Great handle and finish by Long.
Final 5:20 of this first half. Critical moment here for Virginia when you think about it. 8-3. Wierman starting to flash some dominance at the faceoff dot. This will be another chance and another goal. Owen Murphy. The Wahoos are stunned.
Murphy plays on the second midfield, but they'll insert him on the attack for some faceoffs. That's exactly why. He just brings more range than Malever. So when Wierman wins this ball forward, if you're going to help from that position, you're dealing with a guy with an absolute hand cannon. Murphy, catch, quick crow hop, it is out, and it stings
Lister,
the corner.
The net. Murphy, second-line midfielder and on in specialty situations with 29 goals on the year. Face-off violation to Wierman.
But that's where you credit the coaching staff in terms of putting players in a position to succeed. If you've got Wierman at the face-off dot who's going to create those opportunities, you need a guy that can then cash in on them. And Murphy just frankly does a better job of that than Malever.
Maryland subbing out, bringing on Maltz. To run with Brennan and Murphy. Malever is in a little bit of trouble. Got it to Brennan, though. He'll shoot high. Stays on the playing field, though. He's backing up the play. It's Virginia, and they've got possession.
How did Malever even make that pass? That was an absurd pass.
Defenders all over him. Chismar is able to punt return it to the offensive end. So Virginia right now in a desperate spot.
big possession here for Virginia.
Just needing to stem this tide. Now we'll get a whistle as the officials will talk things over. We're going to reset the shot clock.
We got to look at that. Shot clock reset. Never reset.
So they're going to get the timing right. Our officials today, David Pincharo, Joe Cieslak, Tyler Harriman.
Hey, guys. Yes, sir. Hey, guys, can you hear me? Okay. I need to know. Thank you.
Let's take a look at the clocks and see how they line up.
I need to know where the shot clock was when they gained possession.
We'll see that right here.
Yeah.
You see, as Virginia gains possession right here.
Stop it right there. So it should have been at 4:30, and it's set to, so at 4:30, it should have been set to 80. So it's 23 seconds. So 23 seconds. So we're going to have it at 57 seconds.
Way too much math on the fly.
On the shot. 57 seconds on the shot clock, please.
Credits to our officiating staff, and I tell you what, that was way too much quick math for me.
I'm just glad they had to do it.
I know. I was already sitting here on the back of the envelope, carry the 2. So we do have video review, as we mentioned, for this weekend's quarterfinals games, and of course for the semifinals and finals, Saturday and Monday, respectively. Here's what is eligible for review, and that being a shot clock situation. Make sure that both the shot clock and game clock are synced to where they need to be, and they are. So now Peter Garneau and Virginia will put the ball in play in what was and still could be a very important offensive possession, but here comes Maryland with the loose ball. Makar runs to the sideline, keeps possession back to McNaney. Here's Zappitello.
I'm a little surprised, given the stoppage of play, that Virginia didn't maybe substitute their first midfield unit on.
McNaney, will he shoot? He will. Couldn't get anything on it. As Virginia's Scotty Bauer came by to obstruct the shot.
McNaney was acting like he was going to stay on.
Right. On the offensive end.
Everybody's in the sub game.
Right, even the goaltender. Timeout on the field. Lars Tiffany wants to talk things over. It'll be Maryland ball when we come back at the 3:29 mark of this first half. A first half dominated by the Terps. Virginia got on the board first. Griffin Schutz scored to give them the early 1-0 lead, but it's really been all Terps since then.
Yeah, the Terps have led 812 minutes of the total 920 of their season, 90%. So the fact that Virginia even had a lead. Virginia just 2 of 15 shooting since that first goal, and Maryland 9 of 22, and Anthony DeMaio with the hat trick in this first half. Yeah, dodged down the alley on Dixon, who was trapped on defense. So you see the individual effort there, and then he just can pull it from range. You're not going to cover me in the left wing. I'm going to make you pay.
There's DeMaio. Mentioned that he was a part of that team in 2017 that finally broke through, where John Tillman got his national title. Rambo and that crew, and DeMaio was on that team, and so he's been there through the national title, then all of COVID, and then back to the disappointment of losing the national title last year after an undefeated season. I mean, this team's 30-1 in their last 31 games. That only loss was the 1-goal loss in the title game last year.
And what's so hard if you're Virginia, he was obviously an area of focus. Like, we're going to put the long pole on him. So the fact that he's got a first half hat trick and really a first quarter hat trick certainly has got to feel debilitating to a degree.
All right, they're once again looking at the shot clock, making sure they get this right.
We just wanted another shot of McNaney going coast to coast.
And then staying on like he was going to stay in on the 6-on-6. Maryland keeps possession. So it's going to be 57 on the shot clock. Not 80, is that? would indicate. We'll get that. There we go, 57 with 329 rather, left to go. Brain trust to this Maryland team. Jesse Bernhardt, Bobby Benson, the assistants to John Tillman. All the Cornell connections this weekend. Of course, Tillman played for Cornell and legendary Richie Moran, goaltender for the Big Red, hoping to join his alma mater championship weekend next weekend in East Hartford at the Rent. Off to a good start here today.
Virginia goes man-to-man.
Con will have all day to shoot. Wow, just blisters that one into the band section here at the shoe.
They thought they were safe back there.
90,000 seat stadium here. Those in attendance, though, have been treated to some pretty good lacrosse. First game, 2-goal win for Cornell over Delaware. And here today, they're seeing a special team in this Maryland Terrapin team. Potential to go 18-0. No team has ever done that in college lacrosse, Division I lacrosse. And if they win out, they'll have a championship in those 18 wins. Virginia gets the ball back. They got to get something going offensively in this final 2.5 minutes of this first half.
Connor, the one-man punt return clear there.
I said he's going to log some miles today. Take a look at his Apple Watch after today's game. He'll have gotten his steps in. Schutz way out from the goal. Gets it to Schellenberger. Connor. Nothing doing. Being defended by Alex Smith. Another veteran on this rope unit for Maryland.
I thought Virginia waited a little too long. They had Long trapped on defense. They didn't attack him. They didn't generate anything in the sub game.
Inside here, that's a goal. Beautiful look and finish by Payton Cormier. That's Cormier's niche, isn't it? Inside, in the traffic.
Yeah, I thought they waited too long. What do I know? Cormier inside, you're going to see more operating behind the cage. They love this little action, and Cormier just gets lost. And it was actually Long on the crease, so that scissors action frees up Cormier really for the first time all day. And no surprise, it was when a Maryland offensive midfielder was caught within their defensive system.
Yeah, and now if Virginia wants to go on a little bit of a run here, they're going to have to rely on Petey, and instead it's Wierman. Sal will never give up on the play, but it's Maryland ball. Two All-American face-off men going at it. And Wierman so far has gotten the better of Petey, as he did in the game back in March. Coming up on the final minute of play here in this first half.
Virginia back in their zone.
Yeah, Donville up top. More than happy to let some clock wind down. Wisnauskas showed. Instead, Maryland opting to go behind the cage. DeMaio over to Wisnauskas. Cutting. Donville. Tried to get it up top to Murphy. Instead, it was deflected. Virginia doesn't think so. That's the call. This time it's picked right out of the air.
Chance in transition here if they want it.
Ben Ware running. still running. An errant pass from Cormier to Schellenberger as the clock winds down. And that'll be it. One final opportunity for Virginia goes the way so many others have gone in this first half, Rhino.
Yeah, just a sloppy play there. They had a little something. I thought Cormier maybe just try to step back and get your hands free instead of moving that along.
And Maryland, as they have done all season long, they lead at the half. Katie standing by with the coach.
Thanks, Chris. Coach Tillman, a strong start by your squad. What did you think of the first half performance?
I thought we got better after the first 5 minutes, kind of settled in. I thought our guys did a good job in the sub game. I think that gave us some early offense. And then I think as the game's gone on, Luke's gotten better.
Outside of Cormier's late goal there at the end of the first half, strong lockdown defense. What needs to continue on that side?
Yeah, we just got to be a little more disciplined. We came off on the one. We didn't really slide from where we wanted to slide to and gave them one. We have good on-ball defense right now. That's got to continue. And then inside, especially late in those shot clocks, we just got to be a little bit tighter. But guys are fighting. I appreciate that, and they'll keep playing hard.
Thanks for the time.
You got it.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Coach. 9-4, our score here at the half. Lars Tiffany and the Virginia Brain Trust got to figure something out here. It's not going to be easy coming back on any team down 5 goals, but the number 1 team in the country is going to be a difficult task. That's the task ahead for the Virginia Cavaliers. Lars Tiffany's got that work cut out in front of him. John Tillman, reasonably pleased with the performance he's seen from his turf so far. 9-4, our score at the half. We'll look back at the earlier game in yesterday's action when we come back. Back here at the Shoe in Columbus, Ohio, 9-4, our halftime score. Maryland on top of Virginia. Final game of our quarterfinal action on ESPN this weekend. Winner goes to championship weekend. Chris Cotter and Ryan Boyle with you. Very entertaining first half of lacrosse, but you can just see why Maryland has smoked everybody all season long.
But I think to a degree it was self-inflicted wounds by Virginia. A lot in the substitution game. So I think if they can clean up that aspect of the game, make the face-off a more of a 50-50 proposition, and then more pressure from their ride. Maryland has cleared cleanly the entire game.
And, they are winning. Wierman is winning handily right now, the face-off battle against P.D. LaSalle. Let's show you highlights of this first half. Really, DeMaio got off to a really strong start. Patrick there in that first half.
Yeah, the first quarter was the Anthony DeMaio show. And his ability to generate his own shot, and then from that left wing where he's just absolutely lethal. Virginia had a counter led by Connor. 2 goals. You can start to see them creep back a little bit, but then Maryland just goes on a run, and it's capped off by Malever on this backdoor cut. Long, cutting through the teeth of the defense, and then to cap things off, Wierman wins the ball forward and hits Murphy on a 4-on-3 fast break. He just buries it from the outside.
Put a dent in that netting on that shot from Murph. You can see stats, for the most part, tilting towards Maryland's favor, as you would expect. Katie George is on the field. What do you got for us, Katie?
Well, I asked Coach Tiffany coming out of the locker room, guys, what his offense can do to start getting some points on the board. He said, we got to create. He said, Maryland's winning a lot of our matchups. He said, in picks, they're doing a great job of getting through the pick. He said, we need to start slipping through that pick to kind of mix them up and put pressure on their defense. He also said, I want to see us lean more on Jack Simmons and Evan Zinn. They're our speed dodgers. They're the fastest middies on the field. We need them to start putting pressure on Maryland's defense as well. Hopefully that'll open some things up for us offensively.
All right, very interesting. Simmons and Zinn are the 2 players that Lars Tiffany identifies as players they're going to lean on a little bit more here in the second half. Puglise can't get it past Nunes as he comes out to cut down the angle. That again just shows you too how quickly this Maryland team can generate offense with any number of players on the field.
Even a low-angle shot, usually Maryland kind of gives those up for a better look. They'll give up a good shot for an even better one. Fortunate to get the ball back.
Now Malever. Sawsted comes out to check him. Now Castor checks Malever up top to Donville. Over to Long near side. Tried to feed it inside of Wisnauskas, who was cutting, and that pass is going to go awry and be Virginia's ball.
And Virginia electing to stay in their zone defense against this first midfield unit.
And Connor will run the daylight for the successful clear.
You know, they highlighted Zinn and Simmons. I'd like to see Schutz get the ball a bit more. It seemed like he had some success winning his individual matchups, even against a long pole.
Well, if it's Zinn and Simmons, those are some fast dudes, so they want to get out into space and allow their speed to be an advantage for Virginia. Connor. Up top. Here's Moore back to his left, shoots. McNaney is on it, and a great outlet. Wisnauskas will shoot and score! Corral it and get it to Wisnauskas, the all-time leading scorer in Maryland history.
Potential 2-goal swing here, Chris. It starts with a save by McNaney. He outlets the ball. What a ground ball here by Geppert. And then once the ball got to Wisnauskas, you knew the ball was going to end up in the back of the cage. But total team effort there, starting from defense, quickly getting the ball to your all-time leading scorer.
McNaney and Geppert as much a part of that play as anybody else. Hockey assist to McNaney for sure. And Geppert, a great ground ball. Here's one picked up by Maryland again. And we'll go the other way quickly. Kahn with his head up looking for a trailer. Couldn't find one initially, and now 𝐕𝐢𝐫𝐿𝐿 will check out, and Maryland will finish their substitutions. Coming in with Long and Donville. Donville. Good ball movement inside. Just couldn't finish it. Stays with Wisnauskas. Another tough angle shot.
What beautiful ball movement. I mean, that thing is humming.
Murphy will put it in play for Maryland. Fresh 60. Nunes try to cut it off. Unsuccessful. Back up to Donville. Staying in that zone. Virginia is defensively. Donville up top. Skip past to Wisnauskas. Inside of Donville. Shoots. Got the pipe. Virginia cannot clear it. I mean, that is just a gut punch.
Yeah.
And look at Wisnauskas finishing it off.
You just simply can't give this offense extra looks. And in Virginia, in the clearing game, mishandles the ball. And then while they're in scramble mode, trying to get everybody kind of reorganized into the zone, they're just going to lose Wisnauskas. You can see him flash there to the perimeter. And Southstead is just a little late getting out on his hands.
Officially the only failed clear of the day for Virginia, and it ends up in the back of their own net in a 7-goal deficit. It's just disheartening. It must be disheartening to feel this way. And, you know, Wierman again. He'll shoot. Doesn't get through the defense. Again, though, on the ride, Maryland wins the ball back. Kahn gets a good look. Too high.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. It looked like Nunes was closer to the end line. I know it's where the ball goes out of bounds, but Murphy hadn't even started his run towards the end line. I think that was Virginia's possession on that missed shot.
Not too vehement a protest from Lars Tiffany. Here's Maltz. Running with Brennan in that second midfield unit today. Brennan physically bangs the defender. Wisnauskas now behind the cage. Maltz almost loses footing. Back up to Malever. Tough angle shot for Malever. Stays with Maryland. They'll get a free 60 to shoot. Brennan initially loses it, gets it back. Jack Peel on him. Kahn has his defender hung up initially. Nunes goes out to check, tried to get it to Murphy. Couldn't handle the pass. 35 seconds still for Brennan. Now Malever out goal line extended, looking for help. Finds it in the form of Wisnauskas up top. Kastner on him, nothing doing. Brennan inside. Loose ball picked up by Kastner.
I think Wisnauskas caught Brennan off guard with that little behind the back feed from his knees on the double team.
Right, the defenders pounced on that too once that ball was on the carpet. And Virginia just getting their breath back after a long spat on the defensive end. Their offense now once again back on the field, looking to dig into this deficit. Schutz. Like a cement truck down the alley. Xander Dixon, the exact opposite. But quick. Not a great angle there. Schellenberger gives chase and wins the race against Zappitello.
Dixon's been quiet today.
Yeah. I thought he was one of those that could give you a matchup issue if you were Maryland. Hasn't been the case.
And he's had a short stick on him the bulk of the day.
Just a lot of quickness, but hasn't been able to use it. Connor, he'll shoot. McNaney there. Here, trying to win the race to the sideline. The ball never goes out of bounds. McNaney comes out to play it. Look at the stick handling skills for McNaney. Now Zappitello. He's got Ray Hill in the middle of the field. He finds him. Maryland looking to attack. Bounce shot, misses the cage.
And how Maryland evaded that pressure on the clear was absolutely remarkable.
And then turned it into a great scoring opportunity. In a heartbeat.
But I think if you're Virginia, that potentially could be a formula.
That is not. Puglise. Anybody and everybody can score on this Maryland team, and you're seeing it today.
And it's the cat and mouse game again with Puglise that generates the scoring opportunity. He runs off the field, puts on the brakes. Nope, I'm coming right back. And in transition, he is a legit threat from the outside. You're seeing why he was a first-round draft pick in the PLL college draft. Can Virginia make a little run here to close this gap?
Wierman's won 11 of the last 12 draws. He has all. Virginia going with Gable Braun. It isn't doing him any good. Ooh. What is going to do him any good? There's Owen Murphy again with another rocket.
It's just an incredible adjustment by Murphy. You're going to see off the face-off, this becomes a scrap 50-50 ground ball. And Bubba Fairman is able to push. You got to respect him in transition. And on this recovery, Murphy does a fantastic job of hitching and then working his way back upfield. So he already buried one from the outside. I've showed my range. Now I'm going to show my versatility and my moves off of time and rune shot.
Virginia sticking with Braun against Wierman. It's not going to do you any good. Wierman's now won 15 of 20 on the day. And he's been untouchable here in the last quarter and a half of this game.
So if you're Virginia, can you still sit in that zone? You're down 9, I guess with the shot clock, sure.
Wisnauskas back to DeMaio. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists. Wisnauskas himself has 2 and 2.
And what you'll see from Maryland attacking this zone is 2 guys on the crease, and then they'll carry, and one of those guys will vacate. That's a force.
They try to get into Logan and couldn't squeeze it. Untitled trying to clear it.
So just to break down that aspect of the game, they'll put 2 guys on the crease, kind of outnumber you there. And then on a carry, they'll force a rotation, vacate one of those players, and then fill from somewhere else. So you're constantly identifying, do they have 1 guy on the crease, 2 guys in the crease, and where's that second guy?
Delayed call here against Maryland. So Virginia will be man up. Assuming they don't score here with Connor Schellenberger. Connor. Looking for a cutter. Moore, he'll score. That should wipe out the flag. And breaks a long scoring drought for the Wahoos.
And to your point, they had an offside on Maryland. And then Smith is actually going to break his stick right there. So he runs off the field. And as Maryland kind of scrambles back, Moore gets lost on this backside. Good heads-up feed by Connor. And then Moore shows off his range.
Moore, the 4th overall pick by the Archers in the PLL. All-time leading scorer in Virginia lacrosse history. Geppert tracking down this ground ball. Gets it. Back to McNaney.
They've got a flag down on that Geppert escape. It was a late push.
Makar clears it. And now it's Maryland that'll go a man up unless they can score here to wipe it off. Malever upfield. Got Brennan and Maltz with him. Here's Maltz. Wisnauskas tried to get it to Kahn, couldn't, but Murph is there picking up the loose change. 20 seconds to shoot for the Terps. Here's Brennan. Wide, and we'll get the whistle, and now the call.
Blue, 4-0, 1 minute unnecessary roughness. Blue, 4-0, 1 minute unnecessary.
Yeah, once Geppert makes that pass, you can see Braun just come in a little late. The official at the top of your screen's all over it. Are we just going to assume Murphy's nickname is Murph, like every other Murphy?
Every Murphy's nickname is Murph, right? That's the easiest one.
Yeah.
Like hockey nicknames, either cut the name in half or you put an E on the end of it. And Murphy's already got the E. One minute man-up opportunity for Maryland. Wisnauskas scores. Ben Ware knew it. couldn't get out there quick enough.
And this is a really slick shot by Wisnauskas. So he showed the heat, and you know you could bring it. But this is next level stuff. Watch as Con carries behind the cage. He's going to throw back to Wisnauskas, who's going to shoot a kind of a three-quarter arm, kind of side arm release, high bouncer on this pass back. The release point of that angle and then the trajectory using the bounce, that is why he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
I mean, that is some high-level shooting.
More records broken. Now a record for career hat tricks. At Maryland, Wierman is just having himself a day.
Go boy.
Murph.
Second goal by Murphy off of a faceoff, his third today. And the other one came in a mini transition situation where he top stepped. Again, Wierman wins the ball forward. You're going to slide even the slightest bit to me. I mean, it's not like the defender, Natsui, flew over, right? It's not like he totally committed. Murphy just doesn't need a lot of space to get those hands free.
Nor a lot of time. For the second time today, Maryland scores 2 goals within a 6-second span. And they are running away with this one in the third. Petey's back at it. Wins his face-off to himself. Now Zinn. Cormier now behind the cage. Schellenberger. Zappitello has been outstanding on Schellenberger all day long. A little bit of room there, but takes it wide.
I think that one ring off the post.
Sounded like it.
Yeah.
They got fresh 60-second clock.
Is that the best look Schellenberger's had all day?
He hasn't had much. Really hasn't much going for him. And the turnover. It has been an exasperating afternoon for the Virginia Cavaliers. And that man right there, Lars Tiffany, last few years he hadn't had very many exasperating days. 2 straight national championships, but this Maryland team, something else.
Virginia jumps in their 10-man.
Picked off by Bauer. Now can Virginia strike quickly? Connor's coming out of the box. Schellenberger wants to take it himself. McNaney is there.
Schellenberger pressing a little bit there. Rightfully so, to a degree.
Now we get another whistle. Shot clock. We are having some issues with the shot clock today.
6 seconds on the shot. Heads up, Alex. It's coming right through you. See when they had possession. I'll check and see when they had possession.
Official review can look at the clock situation, the quarterfinals,
hey guys,
semifinals,
I need to know.
and finals.
I need to see the game clock when they got possession, please.
Let's see how it plays out.
You gonna do the math this time, Cotter?
No way.
3:22.
I might be able to do this math though. I don't have to do.
Then we had a turnover, so it resets to 80 there.
At 3:15.
Yeah.
31 seconds. So we're going to get it down. 31 seconds, 80, 49. Set it to 49, please.
And then this is another.
Are you sure?
Sorry about the language.
All right, good.
All right, 49. Okay.
Maryland's saying, how could we have the ball in our end with 49? That would be a 20-second violation,
guys,
right?
They're arguing the fact that they hadn't cleared the ball yet, so why would the clock be below 60 seconds?
Yep. They're spot on, Katie.
We've had some shot clock issues.
We certainly
today.
have, yes.
Neither coach is very happy about it.
It's also hard to get into any kind of a flow when you're constantly stopping the play to look at the clock.
Well, this is just simple math. You can't have the ball on your defensive half under 60. So if you're going to do this, then you should just immediately blow the whistle and call a 20-second violation, right?
Yes. It is not possible for you to have the ball on your defensive end with less than 60 seconds left to go on the clock, on the shot clock. Lars is like, I'm an Ivy League guy. Figure this one out.
This is like 2 turnovers ago.
Says,
in case you didn't see this already,
3:22. Now they're going to lose possession here. Okay, so now 80 seconds should start at 3:14.
Yeah, but then Schellenberger comes down and misses, right?
Correct, but keep it going.
Okay.
Oh.
Nope. Oop. And at this point, just pick a time and let's go. 3:22.
It's like it never happened. Going back in time.
Fine.
Like that whole play never happened?
Is this a backyard do-over?
That's what it would appear to be, right? That's exactly what it is. Come on. All right. We'll play along with it. Nady tried to hit the open goal. Now race to the end line, and it's won by 𝐀𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 close defender. Sometimes it's a goalie trying to score that goal into the open net. This time it was McNaney. Didn't work. Virginia backed it up. One possession. Schutz. Connor. He shoots and scores.
For Virginia, do you just basically throw caution to the wind and go 10-man the rest of the game?
I think you have to do it.
You know, if you're going to give up goals, fine. But at least you can generate something in transition. And it's Connor again, his third on the day. Good find by Schutz in transition. And from deep, Connor just steps into one. Like a 5-step crow hop there.
Hat trick for Connor. Look what you've done in the first almost 3/4 of this game. It hasn't worked. So what do you have to lose at this point? And you're losing the possession battle big time to Wierman. He'll shoot, and he misses.
And it's the second miss he's had off of a face-off win. So again, in terms of looking forward a little bit, you can't slide off of Murphy. I don't think you can slide off Wisnauskas, so you just got to kind of live with Wierman going 1-on-0 against your goalie.
He's won 18 of 24 face-offs today. Murphy thought about that one. Now they slough off him. Gets to Wisnauskas. Misses, and now we have an injured player on the field. Grayson Soliday is down for Virginia. Wahoo staff comes out to take a look at Soliday, the senior from Lancaster, PA. One of the team captains of this Virginia team. Lars is out there. Looks like they're looking at that left knee. Let's see how it happened in replay. Right in the middle of the screen. Keep an eye on 32. that non-contact injury where he just gets his cleat stuck in the turf and goes down. You see his rope unit mate, Jack Peel, coming over and giving him a pat on the helmet. Staff taking all the precaution necessary to make sure that it isn't a serious knee injury before they bring him up to his feet and have him walk off under his own power. That's a great sign and great ovation from the crowd here at the shoot. Soliday walks off under his own power. So that rope unit now on this end of the field will be without their captain. As Maryland will put the ball in play. 60 seconds to shoot. Just over 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. Ball knocked down as Kastner got his stick in the passing lane. Big battle for, now we're going to get a loose ball push. Well, timeout, Maryland. Wow. They grant Maryland timeout. Obviously, you have to have possession in order to be able to call a timeout, and the officials thought that Maryland possessed the ball. Bizarre nature of some of the calls and what the clock issues that we've had in this second half.
We need you to be a little more patient. You know what I mean? If you just draw and throw back to Matt could potentially run it over and we're good, okay? But they're kind of playing the back, so we'll just hold it, all right? And then just make sure you guys come back to it. Good. I love you guys in depth, but just play a little smart.
Guys,
right?
we got to stick together and keep our head right in this game. So forget about everything else.
We got 44 seconds, okay? So anybody who gets on the field after that, it's a short time. Let's just make sure we get in and let nothing, right? Keep them at 6 at the end of the quarter, all right? Let's start off.
I love that. I love you guys to death, but just be a little smarter. Till's a little passive-aggressive here at the end of this third quarter. I love you guys to death, but I just need you to be a little smarter. I like Puglise jumping in there, too.
If you're up 15-6, what is the Princeton coaching staff thinking watching this game?
Well, they've got their work cut out for them. They're going to have to go to work because Princeton, if Maryland can win here today, it's their next opponent. Rutgers, Cornell, both have already advanced, and they know who they're playing, so their preparations have already begun for that semifinal matchup. I'll just say this. I hope next week at East Hartford we get a day as beautiful as we have here today. The clouds have disappeared, and it is gorgeous today in Columbus. Unfortunately for the Wahoo fans who have made the trip, it hasn't turned out the way they hoped it would. This rematch from a game in March where Maryland took care of business and won that game 23-12, and they're on their way to a similar score here this afternoon. Unless Virginia can mount a furious comeback here in the final quarter and minute 56.
And that final margin is the same or roughly the same right now, but again, that was a 4-goal game with about 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. We're kind of right in striking distance, relatively speaking, for Virginia. I mean, they're capable of making a 4-goal run.
And then what did Lars say in our conversation with him this week? It's a 4-goal game, and then Puglise comes down and buries a shot like he just did, and the floodgates open up. What'd you hear in the timeout, Katie?
Well, Chris, you think you'd get a sense of frustration from Virginia, but that's not at all how it feels in the huddle. They are very dialed in, still trying to figure out what's going to work against this Maryland offense. And Lars said, look, we've got to live with Luke Wierman taking shots if he wins the faceoff, just like you said, Ryan, because Owen Murphy has scored on almost every fast break he has been on. So they're still trying to figure out how they can break into this Maryland offense.
Yeah, that team won't quit. Been through too much together, won too many titles together. But they got to figure out a way to go on a run here when they're not winning faceoffs too.
Yeah, and I think you got to let Wierman shoot, and you got to just jump into some sort of pressure type of situation in terms of your ride.
So here's Schutz on Geppert. Uses a pick high. Wow. Rockets that one past McNaney. Schutz showing he can shoot the ball on the run in this game, because that's the second time he has done that. Got to go all the way back to the first quarter to find the first time. First goal of the game for Virginia, and now he has the latest tally for the Wahoos.
Yeah, this is a play that Virginia loves to do. You're going to have kind of a little on-ball pick action here, and then on the backside, you're going to get an exchange. So when Schutz comes over the top, if you help from any of these defenders, you've got Connor and Schellenberger. If you don't help, then you've got Schutz kind of barreling down the middle of the field. No help, no problem. I've been wondering when Virginia was going to kind of break out that play. They've been doing it, but Maryland, to their credit, has been forcing that Dodger down the alley. That's the first time I've seen Virginia get to the middle of the field off of that action.
Petey back in against Wierman, relentless. Wins the faceoff. Virginia player dumped, no call. That was more. Puglise. Nunes is there to make the stop. Ball just tantalizingly right in front of the crease.
That had to hurt.
Can Virginia strike quickly? Connor. He's the man to get it done if anyone he can. Now back behind the cage. Try to force feed it in front. McNaney is there, and he'll just hang on to it and let that horn sound to end the third quarter. Couple of goals for Virginia as they're hanging in there, trying to at least give themselves a chance in the fourth quarter. But Geppert, what a brilliant play to get it to Wisnauskas for that goal. Maryland, 1 quarter away from making a return trip to championship weekend. Brett Makar and Maryland up 8 as we head to the final stanza. Katie George is on the field. Katie, what was the message in that Maryland huddle?
Chris, he said heading into this fourth quarter, they can't stay in this forever. If they want to, fine. We're up 8 goals here. All we have to do is finish strong. Do not let up. Play smart lacrosse, especially in transition.
All right, thanks, Katie. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's referencing the zone defense there, which Virginia sat in the bulk of the third quarter.
Makar coming up with that ground ball on the faceoff. Wierman wins yet another one over to Zappitello.
Virginia jumps into their 10-man ride.
Only 3 seconds to get the ball across the midfield line, and the desperation heave ends up right into the cross of Keegan Khan.
You could see Rahill thinking about shooting that one. He had his hands free. I think he saw the backup scenario behind the cage had he missed.
And now Maryland, you got to figure, will be a little bit more deliberate on the offensive end throughout the remainder of this fourth quarter with an 8-goal lead. Donville tried to get it to Khan. Long saves possession. Now Wisnauskas. Over to DeMaio. Into Wisnauskas again. He gets leveled. Nice play by Matsui.
And just a poor decision there by DeMaio.
But here's Makar again. That's a great decision to shovel that loose ball into the offensive end. Chance in transition. Nunes with a great save. And a takedown. Yeah, that's going to be a call again. It's Puglise. Took down the Virginia player. Delayed call.
But this has got the pace that Virginia needs to keep up this whole fourth quarter. Just
right.
make it chaotic.
Especially there when you know you're going to get possession back on the call. Just go right to the goal, I would think. And instead, Moore brings it out to set up 6-on-6, waiting for the first whistle, and then we'll get the call. So here's Schutz again. Will he look to dodge and get to the middle of the field as he did last time? Geppert stays with him well enough to dissuade Schutz from taking a shot. Schellenberger. Zappitello has been all over him today.
And he just stays in his hands. So fundamentally sound.
Connor, tough angle, shoots it anyways. McNaney is there. Now we'll get the whistle and we'll get the call.
Technical foul hold, 30 seconds. 8-point technical, 30.
Take another look at this takedown. You can't do that.
You can't do that. Huge stop there by Nunes.
Right. 10 saves on the day for Nunes. Puglise getting a little rest. 30 seconds. Virginia is man up here. Cormier couldn't bring in the pass. He was open on the doorstep. They couldn't connect.
And it's just been that kind of day for Virginia.
Close to making plays, just couldn't finish. Higgins loses his footing, gets the ball back, then loses it back to Virginia. Moore. Over to Schellenberger. Back to his right. Just can't seem to find that release. Zappitello maybe gave him an inch on that play, and Schellenberger just wasn't comfortable. Dixon, no chance. McNaney has 11 saves on the day, and he can show you how fast he can run, too. He's been all over the field.
Yeah, the crowd was looking for him to carry across the midfield line again, but back to the Zappitello point, it hasn't been anything flashy. It's just great footwork, sound footwork, and with his stick, he's just constantly in the gloves of Schellenberger. So no crazy checks, but just simple pokes and kind of leave it there checks. You throw a check, you just leave your stick in the offensive player's hands, and that is so disruptive.
Third team inside lacrosse All-American from Portland, Oregon area.
And just very low risk, right? It's like you're not going to get called for any fouls by having your stick constantly right there.
Delayed call here. Maltz tried to get to Malever. Now he and Nunes battling for the loose ball, and we'll get a whistle. Play has gotten a little more sloppy here as we've gotten into the fourth quarter.
Fouls on blue, number 43, interference, 30 seconds.
Calls against Mitch Whalen for interference. So now Maryland will be a man up for 30 seconds. Frustrating day for Lars Tiffany and this Virginia lacrosse team. They hadn't had many of them over the last few years. And their last two wins over Maryland were in the NCAA tournament and were huge games. But Maryland, it just may be the Terps' year. DeMaio. Quickly over to Wisnauskas. Look at the ball movement. This time Maltz got knocked off his feet. No call. Sawstead hit him from behind.
Thought that might have been a push with possession.
Right. No call.
I think the officials maybe thought that Maltz turned. It looked pretty clear.
Now we're back at full strength. Connor comes on. Connor loses his footing and loses the ball.
And DeMaio was trapped on defense, so watch him in transition here.
Zappitello with a nice pass across the field. Puglise says, let's just chill for a moment. Now to DeMaio.
He's got the best hand language, sign language of the chill, hold it up. It's like the casual one hand. Like he holds the stick at his side and puts the other hand up like I am in total control.
You'd think all the Terps would have a great opportunity to practice that throughout the year. Look, we're up 10 goals. chill. We're up 12 goals. We're up 14. Everybody just chill.
It's different when Puglise does it. There's just something...
Command.
Yeah.
There's a certain command that he has over the chill signal.
Yes. Well, also, you normally see it from like a quarterback attack type. To see your short stick deep midi.
Great look inside and a great goal by Keegan Khan. Lost his footing but didn't lose the ball and found the back of the net.
Great job by Khan, just finding some space and Long on the carry, frees it right here. You're going to see just this identification by Long. He sees right Khan through these two defenders. Khan presents his stick. Gorgeous catch. Runs through a couple checks, but that's all about Long's vision and Khan finding that skip lane.
4 defenders. He navigates his way through and then beats Nunes. 9 different Maryland Terrapins have scored goals today.
And what's crazy is that's Khan's first of the day.
Yeah.
Right? And really, when you look back at that first outing, you know, he was the guy that I think kind of got them going, won his individual matchup. Today, super quiet, and they, before that last goal, had 15 without any production from him.
And now up 9.
I guess he had the assist on an earlier Wisnauskas goal, but you get my point.
Yeah, he had, 4 goals in that first game in March? Zinn. Now you get to see that speed against Puglise. Schellenberger. Zappitello. So tough on him. Schellenberger shoots and gets the outside of the net. Now we're going to get a flag. Makar was hopping up and down in disbelief. Let's see if it's against 43 in white. Looks like it might be.
Fouls on white 43. 1 minute, elbow to the head. That's going to be locked in.
Unreleasable against Makar. An elbow to the head. Let's check it.
Yeah, that's an elbow to the head. I mean, granted, it's an awkward play given Schellenberger's kind of diving upfield. So tough for Makar. Like, he's probably like, what do you want me to do? Like, I didn't know he was going to dive, but letter of the law, it's an elbow to the head.
Okay. I mean, you could argue that Schellenberger dove into his elbow.
Player safety.
No, I know. You're going to call it close.
I'm not calling Makar dirty player. It's not like he intentionally elbowed Schellenberger in the head. But it happened.
Pass from McNady to Puglise is wide of the mark. Cormier scores in traffic. And Virginia takes advantage of the man-up situation and puts another marker on the board.
You can see Moore trying to hit McIntosh inside, but the ball trickles through to Cormier. Wise enough to get to the middle of the field, increases angle, 𝐊𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬
Just to show off the old gear. Still in usable condition. Rarity today, Virginia winning possession on the face-off. It's been part of so many other elements of this game, tilted heavily toward Maryland.
Remember that penalty was locked in full time. So with that face-off win, Virginia calls timeout, maximize the rest of the penalty.
That'll be about 20 seconds left. We don't have a clock up on our scoreboard there on the screen, but about 20 seconds left in the May car. Penalty for elbowing. Just take a listen in on Lars Huddle.
All right, when they're Matt, if their ride is there, if this is a sub box over here,
I know that one time they threw that pretty ball a few minutes ago. You were all the way up here, right?
It seems higher. They're like coming up like.
He was above the restraining.
Yeah, beginning of the game they were down here. Now they're bringing it up. It's almost easy.
The far side, one side is deeper.
Yeah, this guy.
I'm there right now. Right. I wonder since we're pole 10 if we must change that up. So Cole, it's natural you got the left field here, right? Yeah. So it's just natural for you to do that. Right.
They have a guy in the center too, so we can just bounce out.
I'm there. What?
Finish here, and then we can just come back down here and take it.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, stay behind him. And he probably tried to take you out, but then they have no backup on the shot. Yeah, let's go, boys. Let's go, Blue. Let's go, Todd. Here we go, dude. Come on, Cole.
So Virginia's still a man up, trailing by 8 goals. Just over 7 minutes left to go. Katie on the field. What do you got for us, Katie?
You know, I know things aren't going well today for Virginia, but I just have to say how impressed I've been with the huddles. They're so collaborative. These guys actually have a voice. Lars listens to what they want, what they're feeling out there. And I think that's pretty special. It's not boding well for them on the field right now, but very collaborative huddles. And I think that speaks to the culture at Virginia.
Yeah, it's a good point, Katie. They haven't won 2 straight national championships for nothing. McNaney has been sharp. Now we're back at full strength. 12 saves for McNaney. Higgins trying to get the pass. And a slight disagreement in the middle of the field. Now a late flag comes out. It's getting ugly and chippy here in Columbus. Higgins and Moore have a little bit of a disagreement.
Fouls on 24 Blue, 1 minute unnecessary. That's okay.
Penalties against Payton. Cormier, where did he come into this? Let's see. Here he is. I don't know if that's worthy of a penalty. Let's see again.
I mean, if you're going to do a headbutt in front, right in front of the official, and then Cormier cross-checks him.
I mean, that's...
If you're going to do one, you got to do both, right?
Yeah, that's a very... Even as a cross-check, I don't know if... I mean, if I call that a cross-check, even without the headbutt. Either way, it's... Cormier is going to have to sit for a minute.
Maryland content with running a little bit of juice off the clock here.
Again, still plenty of time to shoot. Murph isn't content.
Yeah.
He wants to find the back of that net again. He's already testing the tensile strength of that stitching in that net. With 2 or 3 rockets on the day. Four goals on the day for Murphy.
4 goals on the day, and 3 of them have just been pure step downs, right-hand step downs. You can see just the load and fire, and there's just too much heat, too much accuracy. I mean, he brings that all the way down to his ankles before uncorking it. I don't know if I'd have Wierman in at this point. Right? You're up 17-8.
They get beat up enough as it is.
I think he's got enough reps.
His backup is 𝐀𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 who's a former Virginia Cavalier.
For me, the key was that start of the third quarter, right? 9-4 halftime. It was like, that's your opportunity. Can you kind of
You could go either way at that point.
Yeah.
And it didn't go the way Virginia needed it to.
No, a 4-0 run by Maryland. So that 9-4, can we chip away? Can we make this manageable? Boom. Next thing you know, it's 13-4.
Long shoots. Nunes. $11 saves for the freshman who's just been under duress all day long. Now Jack Peel's stuck on the field for Virginia. But he's trying to keep Kyle Long on the defensive side. And we'll get a loose ball call here against Maryland, so it's Virginia's ball. Zinn. With his right. McNaney. Fairman keeps it in bounds.
Good footwork there by Fairman. Virginia in their 10-man. He's going to shoot this.
Shoots it towards the goal. Can't get it there, but it's a beautiful pass. Daniel Kelly on the receiving end. 10 Terps have scored today.
Are we giving Zappitello the assist on that one?
Got to.
Zappitello, whether this is I guess it's a pass. I guess it's so far off the mark that, yeah, you consider that a pass.
As is often the case in lacrosse and basketball, this shot is so bad, it's good. It becomes a bad shot, becomes a good pass.
And if you had any money down on Zappitello outscoring Schellenberger, I'm not sure what the odds were there.
Not very high at all. Zappitello has done such a good job D'ing up Schellenberger all day long. He's rewarded with an assist. Yard sale as Parker loses his cross. Physical play continues in the middle of the field. Schellenberger 0 for 5 shooting on the day. Moore, he'll fire it. McNaney's right on top of it. And a great outlet. Nakar couldn't handle it, but there's Smith. 14 saves for McNaney. You'd be hard-pressed to go down this roster of Maryland players and find somebody who hasn't had a big game today. Flag on the play. This is going to go against Virginia.
Yeah, they're offside.
You might as well bring the extra player on to get the stoppage. And that's why they have 7 position players on the defensive side of the field.
We don't really have a kneel down in lacrosse, but this would be the closest version, the old run around the goal.
Yeah. It's Gordy Holmes just running some clock. Here's Kelly. Officer just let that shot clock wind down, and now we get the call against Virginia, and possession will go back to Maryland. Lars with a pat on the back to Cole Castor. There's Drew Morris. McNaney's job is done. Morris going to get some playing time in the NCAA tournament. Played in 12 games this year as McNaney's backup.
And Maryland's emptied their bench here on this man up.
Yep, Gabe Goforth in the game, number 9 for Maryland. That's Malever. Loses it to Virginia as our clock is winding down. Zinn wanted a call. Didn't get it. Gordy Holmes was a little high. Inside a minute to play. Zinn using that speed, shoots and scores. Well, it took over 59 minutes, but we finally saw that quickness that Zinn brings to the table. 𝐊𝐤𝐬𝐬𝐬𝐬 was able to use that speed to get open. And a good hard shot on the run to beat Morris.
Legit 4.540 on display right there. They never totally, fully understood how to integrate him into everything that they were doing.
Transferred in from Johns Hopkins and just couldn't quite figure out how to use him on the offensive end, on the defensive end, in transition. You can see the Maryland team, the bench is excited for the play of these backups who work all season long in practice just as hard as anybody else, now finally getting a chance to play and in the NCAA tournament, no less. Turnover back to Virginia.
There's a lot of emotions here with the Maryland team. I mean, this is the opponent that has knocked them out in the last 2 playoffs.
Yep.
Last 2 tournaments, their season has ended at the hands of the Cavaliers.
And now Kelly will just look to play keep away. Final 5 seconds. Then the horn sounds. The Terps have exercised those demons of NCAA tournaments past and will advance to yet another championship weekend appearance. 9 times in his 12 years at Maryland, John Tillman has taken the Terps to championship weekend. They cut down the nets in 2017, and they'll have another opportunity in 2022. And for Lars Tiffany, the reign of the Virginia Cavaliers is over. Let's check out today's player of the game. It's brought to you by Capital One. This was a very difficult decision to make.
A lot of candidates.
A lot of candidates for Maryland. Luke Wierman is your winner. He and Petey LaSalla went toe-to-toe in the first quarter of this game, and then he dominated from here on out.
And he just tilted the entire field towards Maryland's way, and with all the offensive playmakers that they have, when you give them that advantage from a possession standpoint, they're going to cash in. Hats off to Zappitello, who played fantastic.
Yep. McNaney was great in goal.
Murphy had 4.
Anthony DeMaio had 3 and 2. I mean, you could go down.
Wisnauskas had 3 and 2.
You could go down the list and take your pick on any number of Terps in this game as your player of the game, but Wierman wins it. Our Capital One player of the game. 18-9 is the final. Now we're all set for championship weekend. Next Saturday in East Hartford, Maryland and Princeton. 2 blue bloods with a lot of history. And then Rutgers and Cornell in the other semifinal. Check times on NCAA.com once we get those out of which game will be noon and which game will be 2:30. Katie is standing by with the winning coach.
Thanks, Chris. It's familiar territory for your team, but still special and impressive nonetheless. How does it feel to be going back to championship weekend?
Just to have another week with these guys is awesome. I'm happy for all the kids in our program to have another week so we can spend time together. For a lot of these guys, it's what they dream of. So obviously, Virginia is an awesome the staff such a great job. So never easy, but special to have this time with the guys.
We know the history between these two teams. What impressed you most about your team's performance today?
We just kept grinding. Guys just kept, playing hard, and they make so many good plays. They're terrific. They're skilled. They're athletic. So we just had to make sure that anytime they made a play, which they make a lot of them, just clear your head and make the next play and just be resilient, which this group's been all year.
10 of your players scored today. What does that say about your offense?
It's kind of what we've been all year. We have so many selfless guys, obviously on the offense end, defensive end, and we kind of said in the huddle, we have so many guys that don't get a chance to play in some of these games. Obviously, there's a 32-man roster limit that don't get a chance to kind of show what they can do, but those guys were big for us today, the scout team guys, and again, for everybody to be here and be part of it special.
What excites you most about the challenge ahead?
Obviously just we have more time. So there's another game. It didn't end. You don't have to go in and see those sad faces. So I think that's probably the thing I'm most happy about. But obviously Princeton's terrific, playing as well as anybody right now. So we got a lot of work to do. But I want them to savor the moment, see their families, enjoy it. And obviously all the Terp fans out there, that was for you. We love you guys. We appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Coach. Our times are set. Maryland and Princeton's going to be the second game. So we'll open up with Rutgers and Cornell, and then we'll follow about a half hour after that with Maryland and Princeton Saturday from East Hartford on ESPN2. Rhino, this was a performance that it's not unexpected, but still really impressive.
They look indestructible today. Absolutely indestructible when it comes to face-off, defense, offense, in cage. They
Amazing.
Every part of a national